Hi everyone, and happy Wednesday. I decided I did want to go ahead and do a completed pages for June because I have a massive pile of books I have colored in for June, and I didn't really want to combine them in with July because, again, very large stack of books. I was particularly busy the first half of this month before Annie got sick this last time, and then my coloring kind of dropped off, but I've been doing a little bit here and there. So this is only like half the stack right here, so we'll go ahead and get started. Alright, so there were a few color alongs this month that I participated in. One was Jade in June 2020. It was co-hosted by Addicted to Coloring and Ashley's Coloring Creations. I think I have that right. Yep. Any of the color alongs I'll link to in the description. They both have YouTube channels and Instagram profiles. So earlier in the month I did a video where I talked about my most colored in books, or I guess quote unquote my favorite books that at least my favorite books to color in up to this point. And it was great because this one and the other one I'm going to show you were both in that video, and I realized I hadn't looked at them in a while, and of course looking at them got me to want to color in them again. So we did a color and chat on this one that you can go and see if you would like. If you haven't had a chance, it is on the playlist. This is Miss Kitty, as I like to call her. There we go. It is a Spree alcohol marker base with Castle Art pencils over the top. I did use my Castle Art pencils this month, which is great. I haven't been doing a lot of colored pencil work, as you all know. So it was nice to have a month with those. Plus, I just really enjoy the pencils. I also used a Sharpie to add some detail work to her lace here on her dress. So I love this picture. This is probably now in my top 10 favorite pictures. I will probably at some point cut this out and frame it because I like it so much. She's just so sassy. I love it. My other most colored in Jade Summer book that I thus wanted to color in once I did that video was Baby Dragons by Jade Summer. This was also for Jade in June 2020. I wanted to do the cover page, but I don't know. I'm just like, I want to do the pages that are featured on the cover, but I'm like, I'm stubborn and I don't want to do it like it looks on the cover. And I couldn't figure out how I wanted to color this one until I got to looking at it this month. Here we go. And it made me think of one of my favorite movies, shows when I was a kid, MLP. I'm acronyming that because I don't want this to get flagged. But anyway, I had the little mansion. It was the big multiple section mansion, and I use that thing as a dollhouse. I use that thing for everything, and I had oh gosh, we're gonna have to talk about that in a video because now I'm recalling all that. Anyway, looking at this and seeing the castle and the dragon made me think of the character Spike from that show, and so I wanted to color it like the castle in MLP, and then I wanted to color Spike. Spike's more of probably the current Spike colors because of course they've revamped the cartoon over the years. This is probably more what he looks like currently, and then this was probably more of like the classic look of the castle, but they work together really well. I used Spree markers again, I believe. I can't remember. White gel pen, and then these glitter markers that I got. There's like 4 or 5 of them for $1 at Dollar General, which is a US kind of budget-friendly store. They're just generic markers. I don't have a name on them, but I did like the silver lining in the clouds, and then I did his scales, and it turned out really cute. I I'm really glad I got kind of inspired to do this. So that was what was fun about this month, is I started getting a little more creative feeling, like a little more inspired to do some different things, at least up until things got super stressful. So Animal Quest Color by Number by Sun Life Drawing. Why did I put this one here? This is not the right one. Oh well, we'll get to that in a minute then. I got this last month as a new purchase. I decided to start from the back and work my way forward. This one's a little different because instead of the 24, 22, 24, 23, I can't remember, the 20-something color palette that is normally in these, this one only has the 12. So I did the very last page in the book. Again, I used markers on this. I think it was just budget-friendly markers like Bic and Sharpies and such. And we've got a duck. I feel like it's a big brain duck, like his head seems a little bigger than it should be, but he's like, yeah, this is the big brain duck. This is the intelligent leader of the group. I, for one, welcome our duck overlords. Anyway, sorry if you don't get that reference. Been watching a lot of Simpsons lately. Color by Number Animal Stencils by Sun Life Drawing. This was another book I just purchased last month. I did this page, which is the snake. This is also for John, the bibliophile colorist, did a Crayola and June color along, and this was colored with Crayola and Rose Art Super Tips. So there's my snake. Where is the other one then? My other Crayola and June is a very similar looking book. This is one of their newer ones. Art Animal Stencils by Sun Life Drawing. And I did this picture with the iguana. I'm assuming some sort of lizard. It's a lizard. Had a deal with reptiles this month. Not really sure why. I'm not a reptile fan normally, but seemed drawn to them. Anyway, again, Crayola and Rose Art Super Tips on this one. As I said, we did, as in I did a coloring video featuring the Castle Art colored pencils, and I did a review and I did some demos with them. This was one of them, Flowers for Beginners by Jade Summer. I did this picture. Lift it up a little bit. I use a lot of heavy pressure, as y'all know, so that's one of the reasons my pages get so shiny with the pencils. This was just a combination of blending and straight coloring with them. And I really like how it turned out. I love the orange. The orange and the green blend up here was just, I loved it. Like, those are some really good combinations. I hope I wrote it down somewhere. I probably didn't, though, knowing me. Sorry, Sid, you're gonna have to wait, hon. All my stuff's in her way. Poor baby. The other demo I did with the Castle Art pencils was in Joanna Basford's Magical Jungle, which I've been using kind of for my demos with my colored pencils. And it's also, I think, is definitely my favorite Joanna Basford book at this point. The World of Flowers is probably a close second. Again, Castle Art pencils, combination of blending and straight coloring. Again, loved how this turned out. We have some actual iguanas here. And then I used just that little black Sharpie again for some of the detail work on the iguanas. So, love how that turned out. Not, for those of you, and again, I did this one as a color in chat if you do want to go back and look at that. All right, so here is a Color Questopia book. This is Fairy Magic, color by number. This is one I started getting a little, again, I was getting a little inspired and really doing a little bit different stuff for me, I guess. So here is the picture I did this month. Let's go ahead and put that there. So a couple things. The color by number legend called for like a lighter blue background. It was like a light blue and baby blue in the background. But with the stars, I was like, this is a nighttime scene. That's too light a background. So I darkened up the blues and just went with a different color. The lines in this are actually white outlines. So I used a, where is it? Is that it? I used the black glaze Jelly Roll gel pen to run over those lines. I did that after I colored with the markers, because some people say that if you use the black gel pens, they can smear with the marker you use. So I did that after I put the marker down. So that was like, you know, I did the marker first, then the gel pen. Then I added some more white gel pen in the background for some more stars or snow, or however you want to look at it. And then I went ahead and just blacked out the border. Golly, that's shiny. I'm sorry, I just now noticed that. As you can see, the glazed gel pens give you a very shiny look, which is really cool. So that's how it looks when the light's not glaring on it. I loved how this turned out. I really did. This gave me a little more confidence in that I don't have to go by what the legend tells me if I don't want to. So, and I think I did that here too. I used some different color pinks. Like these were all one type of pink, I think. No, these were two different pinks. Yeah, but like this was all supposed to be just purple, I think, or violet, excuse me. So I used a lighter violet on the edges. Again, just got to where I was playing around with some stuff, trying some different things. Floral Design Color by Number Coloring Book by Jessica Mazurkiewicz. This was also featured in my Most Colored or Favorites video. Here is the one I did this month. I'm basically working my way front to back, even though there are a few pages in the back I've already done. Use shuttle art markers for this. What did I use for the other one? Spree markers for the Color Questopia. Was disappointed in the shuttle arts, like this purple for some reason. You can see it's starting to fade out right here, and I mean, I just did this a few weeks ago. So I've been having some issues lately with my shuttle art markers doing that, some of them. You'll see it in one of the other books I'm going to show y'all. This one was a color and chat, kind of a mystery thing where I didn't show y'all the final picture at first, and y'all had to skip to the end if you want to see it without having to listen to me yammer on. This is Color Quest by Joanna Webster. There are a number of books titled Color Quest, so this is the really big, tall book by Joanna Webster. Really enjoy working in this book too. And this is the picture we did here in that color and chat. Again, that's available on the playlist if you want to look. I always start out with these. I don't want to know what they are. I'm just going to guess as I go along. So I thought it would be fun to do the video like that too, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. I might do that again next time I do a picture and a video in here. So we got roses, again, budget-friendly markers. I think I just used like my Bics and my Sharpies, and my shuttle arts are kind of being thrown into my budget-friendly markers. I have these boxes of, when I say budget-friendly markers, this is kind of what I'm referring to. I have these plastic bins of shuttle arts, Sharpies, Bics, any extra markers I have from other sets, like I have a couple extra like Prismacolor markers and stuff that I just tossed in here because it was easier. I think that's pretty much it. I use a lot of these for my color by numbers because I need to burn through a lot of them. And I save like my Artezas and some of those for like the pictures that I want to do a lot of blending with. So, Summer Silhouettes by Sun Life Drawing. I actually did a picture in this one last night. I did the very first page, which I think is supposed to be like a title page of sorts, but I really like the black background. I tell you guys, I love black backgrounds. I really do when I'm doing pictures like this. I'm not a pastel person, but when I saw this, I thought I want to do some pastel, and I didn't want to just do it all this purple. I threw in some peach and then that kind of light yellow color. I used my Blick Studio markers for this, which I haven't used in a long time, so that was cool. I loved how this turned out. I realized there is another version of this in this book that has a white background, but let me tell you, I'm seriously this was so much, I like the look of this so much that last night I'm like, I'm going to black out all the backgrounds. No, we're not doing that. So some of these I will probably black out the backgrounds and then do a lighter color on the silhouettes themselves. So, but anyway, that first page I just really liked, so I was like, I'm just going to color it. It would be cool if they did a version with black backgrounds, but anyway, this was a Happy Mail I received in the middle of, again around the middle of the month. Thank you again to the person that sent it. I think this is probably my favorite of the series of books, which is like the Chartwell books. This is by Duncan Smith. I think this is definitely my favorite of all of them. I liked it so much, I went ahead and colored a picture in it, I think like the day I got it. And of course, no surprise, I picked the cat. I think I used my Arteza Everblends for this one just to see what they would do on the paper, and they did really nicely on the paper. I liked it a lot. He's pretty. Then we have Fantasy Quest by Sun Life Drawing. This one I started to work on last month, and I did the one picture in it, and I really got hooked. Like I said, these are great for when I need time to, when I need to try to manage my anxiety and let some time pass by. And I'll explain that probably at the end of the video, but focusing on the numbers and the small little areas while I'm doing a solid color on these really helps distract me. So here is my goblin, which, as I said on Instagram, totally reminds me of the Gremlins movie. And then I did this one as well, which we have our centaur. I think the next one is triangles. Yep. And again, I try not to look at the page that tells me what's in here because I want to be surprised. Color Counts by Mindware. I picked up a couple of these this month, and this is the Mythical Fantasy one. And I did do a page in here. Again, I used, I think, Spree and the Arteza Everblend markers on this. I really liked how it turned out. I don't know, I might start another page in this one today, I think. I'm thinking I'm going to do the fortune teller, I think might be the next one I do in here. Or I might tackle one of the double pages, who knows. My other Color Questopia book, which is Incredible Cats and Kittens. Excuse me, let's not leave off the incredible on that. This is also a mosaic color by number that has the white lines in between the sections. This was the first one I tried that black glaze Jelly Roll gel pen on. I used, I think, Prismacolor and Copics for this, just to try them out on this paper, just to see how they did. I like how they looked, and I felt when I used the black pen after I colored in with the markers, I just fell in love with the look, and that's why I did it on the fairy page as well. So if you get this book, keep in mind there are going to be a lot of grays, different types of grays and browns used. So if you don't have a lot of those in your colored pencils or markers, just like I said, be aware you need probably a pretty extensive variety of those if you get that book and want to complete it. Continuing on, we were very cat intensive this month, which is no surprise for a channel called Kits and Caboodles. Wow Cats by Belba Family. This is another mystery mosaic one, though this one it's a little easier to see what the page is going to look like. Here's the first page I did out of this one, which I love. If y'all are paying any attention, like seriously, let's do another cat one, because I love this picture. Just love it. I love the background, love everything about it. A lot of people are doing these books using like X's, kind of like a cross stitch look, which I like, but for me, I'm really big on that bold look, and having the patience to fill in all these little areas is kind of soothing for me right now, so I'm sticking with this. I do want to black out the frame on this one. I have to go back and do that. Then in my video yesterday, we did this one. That one was Sprite markers. This one was the budget-friendly combination markers here, except for the beige, which was an Arteza marker because I couldn't find a beige otherwise. And as you can see, I did black out the edges on this one. These are fun. I love the pictures. You will be seeing that one frequently on here. Last but not least, because this one's a little special, this is World of Mice Large Print Color by Number by Sun Life Drawing. This is their 12 color palette. This is going to be the first book I complete, and I'm really excited about it. First coloring book I've ever completed. I've been working my way through it front to back, with one exception, and I'll tell you guys about that in a minute. I know we did this one last month. I can't remember when I colored this one. If I showed it last month, I apologize. We're just going to start here, though. So this is where I'm picking up where I've colored for this month. I have one picture left, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I've been using mostly my budget-friendly markers on this, and again, I noticed there was a little bit of weirdness with some of the markers where they would leave little white places, and like some of them I would go back over them with a marker and they would still show up like that. So I'm not sure what's going on there. It seems the shuttle art markers were the ones that I had the biggest problem with doing that. So FYI. Really, at first I thought it was lighter colors, but we'll get to that picture in a minute. That's the one I skipped, and I'll explain why. There is the other one, or another one I have on here. This one's probably one of my favorites in the book. So, and then you can see some more little areas. It was that light blue one in particular in this book. When I switched to the light blue and another marker, I didn't seem to have that problem. So now this one I tried the spring markers on. I just got those this month, and I've just been, I like them a lot, so I've been using them quite a bit. They did great on this paper. As you can see, I didn't have any issues with streaking or anything with them. I wish I'd realized there was a Halloween picture in this. I would have done this last month. There was a Halloween color on them, but oh well. We have this one. And finally, when did I do this other one? Was it last? No, it was not before last. Ah, there it goes. So I've reached the end of the book with this picture, but we still have one left. I'm going to do that one this month because there are a couple, because it's a Christmas picture, and there are a couple of Christmas related color alongs happening this month. So I figured this would be a great picture to end on. I thought about maybe doing this during, I don't know. I want to do this one on video just to kind of wrap up the book, right? So yeah, let's see here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20. I'm pretty sure I am counting roughly 25, 26 pictures done this month. So yeah, it has been a busy coloring month for June, and don't know what's going to happen yet for July because everything's still so much up in the air. I do seem to be doing better about when I am anxious about something and I'm waiting on like a phone call or waiting on something to happen. I'm doing better about engaging myself at least with one of these, or like the Fantasy Quest one. Something that will keep me from just sitting and stewing in my anxiety entirely. But like when everything happened with Annie a couple weeks ago, like that level of anxiety, it just, my coloring dropped off severely at that point, because when I reached that level, it's like nothing can touch it really. So, but I have been doing better when it's just medium anxiety levels, I guess, managing it by coloring. So yay for mental growth, I guess. Yay. But anyway, I know this video is a bit long, obviously for good reason. Thanks again for everybody that's been so supportive with everything going on with Annie. I do think I am going to do a Flip Through Friday video. I may go ahead and record it. She is still doing well this morning. I think her appetite has dropped off a little, but it's not as severe as it has been in the past when we stopped the antibiotics. So I'm hoping she will be alright till Friday when she goes back. And like I said, I may go ahead and film. I have gotten some new books. May go ahead and pre-record the Flip Through Friday so that you guys have that regardless. So anyway, I will talk to you soon, and bye for now.